Hello everyone, I'm Devesh Lathi from the Next Genius Foundation, and in this video we are going to learn how to fill the ISFAA or the International Students Financial Aid application. The ISFAA or the ISFAA that some people call it is used uh, when you are applying for financial aid for your undergraduate education in the US. So let me share my screen here and take you through the form. Okay, so here is the ISFAA or the ISFA or the International Students Financial Aid application. Just go through all these instructions as you start filling the form. And now let's go through each question one by one. So the first question is pretty much straightforward. Your names, you need to mention your full name, your middle name, your surname over here, enter your permanent address over here, enter your email address here, your mailing address over here, your date of birth in MMDD format, where it's in the month, day, and year, which is slightly different than how how we enter dates here in India, where we enter the day first, followed by month, and then the year. Enter your place of birth, the country of birth over here in question number 6. Question number 7 is enter your country or countries of citizenship. So whichever country you are a citizen of, you need to mention it over here. Expected visa type. So for most Indian students who are going to pursue their undergraduate abroad in the US, the answer here would be the F1 visa. So you'll go to the US on a F1 visa, F1. When do you expect to begin your studies at college? You can mention 08/2021, that is August 2021. Will you be attending a college university for the first time? I believe for most of you, that will be the option. Yes, you will be attending a college or a university for the first time. For some of you who are transferring from a different university, you'll select this option, option B. List the names of other colleges and universities they are applying to. So you need to mention 4 or 5 of the other colleges that you're applying to in the US. Your marital status. So for most of you, I believe you are not married, so you can tick this off. If you're married, then how many people are financially dependent upon you? Again, you can mention if you have any children or if your parents depend upon you. What is your parents' current marital status? So you need to mention whether your parents are married or they are separated or divorced or whatever their current status is. Then you need to enter your uh, father's detail in question number 13 and your mother's detail in question number 14, or you can make it vice versa. You can enter your mother's detail first and your father's detail second. It doesn't make a difference. Both are okay. Enter their age, their full address. You can mention same as above if it's the same address for yourself and for your parents. Enter their education. Enter their occupation over here. So whether what's their title, what's their position, whether they are the owner of a business or whether they are a CEO or an officer or a manager or a general manager, whatever they are, you mention that over here, and mention the employer name, whatever the company that they are in, whether they are a government employee, so you can mention Government of India, or if they are in a private firm, maybe TCS, so you can mention Tata Consultancy Services over here, or if they have their own business, you can enter the business name over here. And same goes for the second parent, for your mom or for your dad. A number of years with the employer, so for how many years have they been employed there? How many people, including yourself, depend on the parents' income? So you can mention whatever number is there, which will include your grandparents if they're living with you, your siblings, if your any uncle or aunts are living with you. So you need to count that and you need to mention that number over here. Okay, question number 16 is where you need to mention about your siblings or anyone who is studying right now. So um, you need to enter the details of your siblings, your brothers and sisters, where they are, what is their relationship with you, which school or college they are at, and what is actually going to be the your parents' contribution towards their education in this academic year and in the next academic year. So this is a way for the colleges to understand how much money is being spent already in towards your siblings' education in the current year, and what is the expected amount to be spent in the next um, academic year. Question number 16 is question number 17 is where you mentioned what proof of income will you provide. So you can mention any tax forms, any statement from your employer, your parents' employers, or any other bank statements that you will provide along with this document as a proof of income for your parents, right? Question number 18 is, it's a pretty straightforward question which asks you what's the exchange rate. So when I'm making this video, the exchange rate is 74 rupees is equal to $1. That's what you can mention here. Question number 19 asks whether the government imposes any restrictions on the exchange and release of funds to the US. The answer is yes. The amount is $250,000, which is a significantly higher amount than what you will actually spend on a yearly basis when you're going to study in the US. Do you have a source of emergency fund when you arrive in the US? So in most cases, you'll have your parents' savings, your parents' income as an emergency fund. So you can mention that. You can mention parents' savings over here, and the amount would roughly be anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 or $10,000, or even more if of course, if your parents sort of have committed those kind of funds towards your education. How will you pay for your transportation? So again, you can mention your parents' income, your parents' savings over here. Okay, question number 22 is where uh, the they try to understand how what are the different sources of your um, income, sources of income for your family, for your parents. So the first is your father's work. So how much amount came through your father's work? How much amount came through your mother's work? How much amount came through your work if you worked uh, during your high school? How much amount came through your spouse's work? How much amount in dollars came through a family business, through the family's real estate holdings? Sometimes they get rent from people that on the property that they have uh, leased to someone. Any pension or gratuity or any annuity that they receive, uh, anyone else from the family who's an earning member, interest that they receive, interest or dividends on shares, stocks that they receive every year, uh, any allowances that they receive, and any other amount. So this whole question asks about the total amount that your family receives in any given during 2019, basically during the last year. Okay, will there be a significant increase or decrease in the family income next year? So of course, you need to mention if in the coming cycle, in the upcoming cycle, if you expect that this amount is going to increase or decrease significantly for any reason, maybe a loss of job or any sort of treatment of any disease of a family member, something like that. Okay, Section D asks about the asset information. It asks about if your family owns a home, and how in which year was it purchased, what was the price of purchase in US dollars when it was purchased, and what is the current market value of that of the property. And it also asks you if you still owe any amount on the purchase price. So if you have taken a loan, then you need to mention how much loan do you have on that property. The question number 25 is about the business. If your family owns a business, when was the business started, and what's your parents' share of the business value? So you need to mention how much your parents invested and what's their share in the business, total business. What is the type of business, and if your parents have also owe any money, uh, with respect to the business, if they're under debt, some kind of debt, if the business is under some kind of debt. Please list the value of the following. So if apart from the business and apart from your house, if you have any other assets like your land, any savings, any investments in stocks and bonds, any assets that you own as a student, money that you owe someone, someone has to pay any money to you, uh, repayment of 26E expected this year. So how much of this owed money are you expecting to receive this year? How much money that you owe to someone do you expect to receive this year? And any other assets like jewelry or artwork or any antiques. And question number 27, again, this is a continuation of the asset information form uh, part. Do your family have assets in any other country? So you can mention yes or no, and then you need to mention how much, what is the value, what kind of a property is it, uh, and in which country that property is. So let's say, how much money do they have? How much property do they have? How much other kind of assets do they have? So what's the value of that? In which country it is, and who is the owner? Your mother, your father, or your grandparents, or someone like that. Next is what kind of an automobile does your family own? If they own one, you can say yes or no. What is the brand name? Uh, what kind of a car is it? Which brand car is it for Toyota, etc. And in which year was the car? Uh, you know, what is the year of manufacture of that car? Now, section E talks about the expenses. Uh, this talks about the expenses at a greater length. It helps you them understand what kind of money is being spent on rent or mortgage, utilities, food, clothing, household necessities, medical expenses, educational expenses, loan payments, taxes, uh, amount allocated to savings and retirement, automobile maintenance, insurance, entertainment, vacations, servants, others, and then you can explain others over here. So all these amounts are to be mentioned, are the annual expenses and are to be mentioned in the US dollars. How much money does your family owe to other people or to financial institutions? So if they have taken any loan, you can mention that amount here. Amount paid on debt in, so how much amount did they pay? How much amount did they uh, pay upon on that debt? And why did they take that loan? Was it a home loan, house loan, or education loan, or an automobile loan, or a personal loan, or any other kind of loan? So you need to mention that over here. Question number 31 asks if your family employs any other people. Maybe they might have employees working in their firm, or you might have servants at your home. So if yes, then how many of them are at home, and how many of them are in the family business that your family owns? Question number 32, again, this is the main question here, which asks about how much money do you expect from various sources towards, to support your education, to invest in your education. So the first amount is, if you have any savings, so you can mention whatever amount that you have saved or you have earned over the past 4 years as a student. If you have any assets as a student, what's your family income, your family's assets, how much amount per year on a yearly basis your family will contribute towards your education with the help of your family income or with the help of your family assets. If your relatives or friends have committed certain funds towards your education, if your government have committed certain funds towards your education, if any agency or foundation have committed any funds towards your education, again, you cannot mention next genius over here because you have not yet won a scholarship. Only after you win a scholarship this amount is confirmed. So here you can mention any other, if any other foundation has committed any funds towards your education. Private sponsor is any uncle or aunt who have committed funds towards your education. And others, if you have any other source of funding, you can mention that over here. Question number 33 asks if you have applied for financial aid to any institution. So you can mention here, you can mention Next Genius. If you are a Next Genius applicant, you can mention that you've applied to us. The application date can be October 10. Award notification date will be 26 January 2021. Expected amount, you can mention full tuition scholarship. So this is something which of course the colleges are anyway aware of, because they know that you are an applicant of Next Genius, because we inform them about this, right? So you can mention that over here. Section G asks about if you have any special circumstances where your family income will change, or whether you have any unusual expenses, any debts, any special circumstances which they should be aware of when they are deciding. Maybe you have a ailing parent or a ailing grandparent, or there might be a loss of job, or maybe your parents are moving to a different country, or maybe there is a expected increase in income for some reason. So you can mention all those special circumstances over here. And finally, section H asks about where you need to sign it as a student, and your parents also need to sign it, and you need to enter the date. So again, this is what is the International Students Financial Aid application. The link to download this is provided in the description below this video. So you can download that form from there. You can print it, fill it with your pen, scan it, and email it to the admission officer's email ID provided, or upload it in the application portal or the college portal, the link of which is sent to you up when you submit your common app. So once again, how you need to fill this is, you need to download the form, print it, fill it with pen, scan it, and either email it to the college or upload it through the portal. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope this added some value and sort of clarified some of your doubts. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us. We would be happy to help you. Thank you. Bye.